Hey guys, welcome to the game that I've been working on with two other students. This is our senior thesis game, Soulguarde. We've been working on it for the past 6 months, and we wanted to kind of go through and explain it and play it a little bit. If you guys do want to play it, we do have it uploaded on itch.io. There is a small bug, ish. So it is. I'll post the link in chat. So if you do re-queue, you do run into the issue where you're gonna have to restart the game. We've been working on that bug for a few days now, but obviously it's in development. If you want to go ahead and join here, there is also a how to play under with a little bit of text. So
just really quick before we go on, my name's Josh. I'm also part of the team, and then we also have Calvin Lee, who is part of the team as a programmer. Yep.
And I'm William Cameron Farron.
Right.
Now, if you want to play, so the idea is this is an RPG game with elements of betrayal, and it's an online game. So you join the town with everybody who's in the game. Anyone who goes to the town is all going to be in the same lobby, so they're all going to be able to see each other and interact and type in the chat. This is where you would buy weapons, and right now we just have our 4 weapon prototypes up, which is and I'll let Josh explain that a little bit when he gets in as well here.
So I already have the weapons in the inventory, but if, for example, you wanted to buy the weapon, you just go up to it, press E to interact with it, and then bam, you have the weapon here. So we have 2 melee weapons and then 2 magic weapons. So the one I have equipped is kind of a stronger weapon. It has crit chance and it has bleed chance on it. This has a pretty high crit chance, but it is a pretty slow attack speed. Over here, we have the first iteration of the melee weapon, which is the Dagger. It's pretty fast. It has a high bleed chance, low crit chance, and doesn't do that much damage. Over here, we have the Broadsword, which is similar to the Dagger, except that it's a little bit slower and it does more damage. And the hitboxes for it are going to be different, and I'll show that off when we get into the game. Then the last weapon is the Metal Scythe, which is another magic attack. Which is a little bit weaker than the Valkyrie Scythe that I have equipped here. So, so you can just buy the weapons based off of what you want. You could buy them all if you wanted to. And
you would come to the sign, and it would allow you to queue with other players. The idea, when we get farther in development, the idea is to have 4 players in one lobby, and then they're going to play. And it's just a wave-based system that you'll be able to see, and I'll let Josh explained some of the NPCs when we get in. But the idea is you're going to load in, you kill the things, you get loot, or you're going to get money, which we call essence. And sometimes a red square will drop up. And that's going to be the betrayal element as well, where if you pick that up, you're going to be... there's a very low chance right now. It's only 1%. But the idea is if you pick that up, then you can turn against the other players, kill them, and then kill the rest of the mobs. And you're going to get, instead of splitting the loot with other people, you're going to get all the loot to yourself. So then I'll let Josh go into it a little bit with these.
So we just have minions. 2 types of basic enemies. We have the ranged enemies, which have the minus sign on top of them, and then they're kind of a blue color. Then we had I guess we'll just wait for the next wave to spawn. So this is the Emerald Dagger that I have equipped right now. So it's pretty fast, does this cool cone shape. The VFX is all done in-house, but not every asset seen here was made by us. We did use a lot of Unity assets. So the yellow ones with the kind of plus sign, these are the melee guys. They come up to you and then just give you a nice deadly hug that hurts a little bit. So let me switch to the sword. So this is the sword. It has a different attack radius. It's more of you can see it's wider, but it's not as forward as opposed to the Dagger, which is a little more forward. Okay, and then show off the weaker ranged weapon, which is kind of shoot a fireball. And that's pretty much it. Just shoots a fireball.
The idea for that one is it's more long ranged versus short ranged weapon.
Yeah, and it shoots faster. And then finally we have the Valkyrie staff, which is, it doesn't shoot very far and it's pretty slow, but once you get it to connect, it does a lot of damage. So,
and it'll penetrate some enemies and hit the ones behind them as well.
All right. So we also have an event system in the chat, as you see, first wave completed, second wave completed, and that teleportation that we saw was just to make sure that the player is in the boss area as the boss spawns, and then I'll let Calvin explain the boss a little bit.
Right. So the way the boss functions is similar to that of the Crystal Sage boss from Dark Souls 3, and the way the boss functions is. It would spawn at a random location within the boss area, and it will spawn a fan shot pattern that you see right here. And if a player deals damage to the boss, you can allow the boss will allow you to attack him for a set amount of time before he starts teleporting, and which apparently he's not really teleporting.
And before he starts spawning the clones, right?
Right, and after the second, after you deal damage to the boss, at a certain percentage, he will, he would clone himself and go into phase 2. And during phase 2, he selects random attack, and the attacks vary between the fan-like attack and the spiral shot, as you see on the screen. And during phase 2, you can attack the clones, and if you attacked his clones, you don't deal damage to the main boss itself. You only deal to the clone itself. So if you kill the clones and during any of the phases, you don't kill the main boss. So you still need to kill the main boss in order to progress to the next area.
And the idea is when you hit a clone, they're going to shuffle positions. So you want to make sure you're hitting the right one. And there's a little tell. That you can see right in the eye here.
So in the eye,
this one's got the line.
Has a little line down the middle. While if we look at the clone, there's no line down the middle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so basically this will keep going on until he reaches phase 3, which is I think 25% of his health remaining.
Yep.
And in 25%.
Yeah, those giant essentially. Yeah.
So at 25% HP, he spawns a AoE attack. We can loop it over again if you want to show it.
Yeah, we have to restart because of that bug that we have.
Right.
All right. So let's speed run back towards it.
So the idea is we took this boss idea sort of from the Dark Souls 3 Crystal. I think it's Crystal Mage fight.
Crystal Sage
that you fight in the library section. So the attack pattern that they're talking about is going to be this big AoE that's going to have a ball that just kind of throws up sort of like a landmine, but it doesn't activate when you step on it. You'll see a circle, and then you have to move out of the area because it'll just come up after like a half a second or so. So and right now we're only in alpha. We want to release like an actual, like I think we've called it pre-alpha. I think the idea is we want to release an alpha or a beta by the end of summer. And once we get to that stage where we're comfortable in sharing this and giving this to as many people as we can, we want to try to get Steam integration working. So you can log in like with your Steam account, and then all your saves will be saved over the network. You don't have to worry about losing your weapons if you switch computers or have to worry about other people cheating by using other people's save files. And it'll be able to grab your Steam name as well. So
I just wanted to talk about how the targeting mechanic works for the NPCs. They're, as you can see, they're pretty simple, nothing too complicated. As they spawn, they find the nearest player and they go towards it. We do want to implement eventually an aggro system, some way for them to switch target based off whichever one it deems to be like the most deadliest. So just gonna try and get the phase 3 really quick.
So that way you can just pull aggro from boss. Or something like that. So you can. So you might not be able to spec before the game starts, but you can spec like as it's going, because you can still access your backpack and your character menu.
So those are the AoE attacks,
Yeah. If you want to open up your character menu real quick while you're dipping and dodging. Right now we have 3 empty slots, and those are just unimplemented features right now, where we want to add boots with like speed modifiers or jump modifiers. We want to add like leggings and helmet, or probably chest and helmet is what it'll end up being. We just want to add 3 armor sets for a little more variety. Can you still go to the mage section in the main scene, the town scene?
No, we can't.
Okay.
Zone that up.
Never mind. That's unimplemented yet. It'll be in the future.
Yeah. So we also plan on adding potions, because as of right now we do have a regen system, but we don't want to rely on that to be the primary way that you gain back health. We want it to be, a little more like kind of snap buttons that you have to use. So, and that's really what the mage area is really dedicated towards. Oh yeah, and we have a chat system, so talk. And
the player model is pretty basic right now, but the idea is in place of armor, like wearables, you're gonna have like VFX. So it might be like fiery feet or different like cosmetics and stuff like that. So right now, up until the end of summer-ish, we're kind of working on bug fixing, because as we fix one bug, another one shows up, because it tends to be kind of complicated for networked games.
Yep.
And polishing. So we want to make it as presentable as possible. As well as fun as possible, because some of the fun of the game is going to come from, just how interesting does it look? How much does it keep your attention? How entertaining is it? And I don't think we mentioned one more mechanic that's just in the game recently, which would be the stamina bar, which is right on the top left below your health bar. And that's just going to deplete like when you're dashing and jumping and I think sprinting, stuff like that. Yeah. So you can't just dash, jump, sprint forever and dodge every attack really easy. But the attack should be separate from the stamina here, so you can still spam.
We just can't do it in the. So yeah, this is a non-combative area essentially. So no you show off your weapons and your loot, but you can't hit anyone with it.
So this would be mostly a social area. I think that's roughly it for what we have for our game now. I mean, if you guys want to try it out or you want to hop in and just take a look, it is on itch. You can walk around in the town. It should always be online. So if you ever do find another player or you want to just test it out and see what's going on with a friend, you can play. You can even load it up by yourself if you feel like it. Right now we don't have any player limits on the lobby size. And you're always going to join with the people that joined shortly after. We don't have any randomized matchmaking yet. And that's mostly just so we can test and make sure. So the idea right now, it's a lot of, if you're working with the betrayal system or you want to try it out, it's kind of like an honor system. You don't want to just queue with someone and say, all right, you don't want to like boost, I guess, to get essence. I think that's essentially it for our game here.
All right. I guess we're going to pause for a few questions. I guess we can start. What was the inspiration you had for this game? Like, did any other games inspire you guys to make this or anything?
Inspiration-wise, I think we all drew from something that we loved in the past. So for me, especially for the chat system, I'm an MMO player, so that's pretty much World of Warcraft was a big influence on also the RPG elements of this.
Yeah, also the inventory system.
Oh yeah, that he made. Yep.
The separate panels pretty much work similarly as you would see in like an MMORPG.
For me, I'm just a really big fan of basic like equipment, RPG stuff, like always going to the shop and like, I got to get the best item or I got to get the best loot and those sort of things. And so I'm always a big fan of early Final Fantasy games because it tends to just be like, go to the town, buy the most expensive item. It's very simple, very basic. If it costs more, it's better. So you kind of always know there's like a clear path of progression. And a little bit of inspiration was, so we have LTU, we have IGS 1, 2, and then senior project. And for game devs, what it ends up usually being is 3 different games, or 2 different games where you go for IGS 1 and then 2, and then you continue your second IGS into senior project. For us, we made our very first game was couch co-op, and then our second was single player, and we didn't like developing for single player as much as we wanted another multiplayer experience that people could enjoy with each other, that you could yell at each other about and have banter and stuff like that. So we decided to set on making a multiplayer game, especially after me and Josh worked a little bit with it in a game jam once.
Yep.
All right. We have a question in chat from Renketsu Zero. Are you using any kind of framework for your online aspect?
So we are using Pun too, the Photon Unity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Photon Unity. Mm-hmm. So that's been a huge help.
Yeah, we started with the unit, the deprecated unit, and then realized our errors.
And a lot of early development has been figuring out Photon as well.
Even now, it's still kind of difficult to understand.
Yeah.
So is there any reason you guys use Pun over any other system?
So from my understanding, it was recommended by Brett, and since we really enjoyed the game Mage Quit that he made, we liked how that worked and how it functioned. So, that's I don't know, seeing something like if you see a game that you like and it uses this specific element, then I kind of gravitate towards, I want to use that element too now.
Plus, he's one of our professors, so if we have any Photon Unity issues, we can ask him about it. We can get some advice if we're really, really stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from the audience? All right, guys. I think that's probably it. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We will see you guys later.
All right, you have a good one.
Yep.
Bye.